You can find it later in our YouTube playlist. We will post it by late the end of this week, the recording and the slides. And with that, I would hand it over to Markus.
Yeah, thank you. Welcome everyone, and thank you for taking the time to, get to know Commerce Cloud a little bit better. The way, we see the commerce space, and how we actually support our customers, our legacy customers, to move to the latest version of Commerce Cloud. So with that said, I just want to quickly introduce myself. My name is Schreiner. I'm part of the product leadership team. Previously serving the commerce team as head of growth. Now I have moved on to a role covering the ecosystem and partner landscape for CX. But no matter what, the disclaimer, I have to remind you that the information of this presentation is confidential and should not be shared broadly without, to any other external resources. And with that said, I will just pick you up on, the strategy of SAP and how CX and commerce fits in there. So we are part of the customer experience applications, and we are an integral part of the SAP strategy. So you see it down there, SAP application. So we also serve our customers with an integrated suite approach. I come to that a little bit later. And the newly introduced Business Data Cloud is our semantic layer for data products. And this should help you actually to get a 360 view of your whole processes and data points within your organization. And on top of that, we are planning to include more and more so-called business agents based on Joule, so that you have an AI embedded in every business process of your SAP landscape. But I will also show you in a quick video what specific commerce capabilities we are offering to our customers to actually support the Commerce Cloud business. And with that said, I already mentioned that we are an integrated part of the business suite. And everything we do from a line of business customer experience perspective, we are trying to actually support the business processes and business outcomes. So everything we do should have a clear outcome on the customer sides. And this is why everything that we do in terms of development and enhancements to our solution and investments is all about connectivity, insightful capabilities, and to be adaptive to actually drive a composable commerce strategy. So, and you'll see, and you will get more information as part of the slide deck afterwards. So you see the significant improvements that we can deliver for our customers. And we have proven that already in the last year. I come to that a little bit later. So, but overall, the vision for Commerce Cloud is actually to enable every enterprise to continuously deliver connected, trusted, and intelligent unified commerce experience that drive profitable growth for all business models, no matter if you're running B2C, B2B, B2C2B, whatever, you can all do it on one single platform, which should be SAP Commerce Cloud. And so what we do to actually deliver that experience for our customers is to connect the commerce business processes out of the box. And on top of that, we provide AI capabilities to make your teams working with our solution more productive and more personalized. And very important in the commerce space, the commerce space consists of almost 8,000 different vendors for certain commerce capabilities. So we always will provide a best of breed commerce platform that you can actually on your terms compose, right? So you can take out certain capabilities and compose that or add partner solution to that. I come to that a little bit later. And to drive profitable growth, it's part of our vision, it's part of our strategy. And here's also the proof point what we have delivered for our customers in 2024. So we're putting more, hundreds of customers live in the last year. We had a record-breaking holiday season, and we significantly grow the processed volume, meaning the business of our install-based customers. Cross-merchant value, that's the total sales process through SAP Commerce Cloud, has grown by 17% in 2024, and the number of orders for our customers, we were able to grow by 33%. That's pretty unique in that space. And I don't go into the detail, but I want you to have that slide. So we are still considered as the most feature-rich and scalable commerce platform for the enterprise segment. And that has been proven in the latest Gartner Magic Quadrant report, but also from IDC in the latest MarketScape. We are rated as, the worldwide our best enterprise commerce application. So if you might ask yourself why we're not ranked in Forrester, so we stopped working with Forrester as analysts 2 years ago. So this is why don't we show up? Why do that we don't show up in their reports anymore? So we're here to serve the enterprise at scale with a global setup, and so it's also means a lot of investments into security, into scalability, as customers that we serve, like a Samsung, like a Nestle, are running global business, with multiple brands in multiple regions. So this is why scalability at a global level is so important. And I want to show you our solution in action based on a customer example of Universal Studios.
At Universal, we focus on the guest journey. We talk about it all the time. What are our guests doing before they come onto one of our destinations and parks? What are they doing during their visit? And then what are they doing after? And throughout this, there's so many different, what we call digital touch points that are enabled by technology. And it's so important that we think about them as a collection, as a true end-to-end experience of all of our guests. We're looking to build a new resort from scratch in Beijing. We were looking for platforms that had omni-channel capabilities, that were scalable, that were a core part of the company's portfolio and investment in R&D. And we needed platforms that could support a wide range of industries. If you think about a resort experience, you have the theme park, but you also have food, you have hotels, you have retail. The implementations of SAP Commerce has really enabled millions of guests to visit our Universal Beijing Resort. All of our ticket sales and all of our hotel bookings and things like that are all going through this single commerce platform. In terms of features that stood out for us, one was the flexibility and the scale of the platform. It was really architected for modern e-commerce with headless commerce architecture, that we could integrate n number of channels and different ways of integrating with the platform, which was really important for us. Another aspect of the platform was really around the features and functionality that it brought out of the box. We had the ability to configure data models and domains and inventory and channels across multiple different product lines that we were selling, like tickets and hotels. For those of you that have been in sort of the e-commerce space for some time, it's not always easy to do that, but we were really confident in tooling. We felt like it was designed in a flexible way. We wanted to work with partners that we knew will be there for the long run. We selected SAP S/4HANA to handle all of our financial operations and back-end processes. Since then, we've actually started on our deployments for SAP Commerce Cloud in other regions. And, we're able to use the functionality that we discovered first with our Universal Beijing Resort, but also we're growing it to maximize the new features and functionality that SAP Commerce Cloud has. That's the way that we're able to integrate all these touch points together such that it can be an enjoyable, seamless, and delightful experience.
So that is mainly a recap what I've just been telling you. So long story short, so we are focusing on building Commerce Cloud specific to our install base SAP customers, because only if you connect ERP with Commerce Cloud, you can actually deliver a seamless, unique customer experience, because it also optimizes your professional efficiency. And to make Commerce Cloud and SAP CX work with ERP, happens out of the box, right? So there's no implementation needed. Of course, you can do it with other solutions, but always in sync is Commerce Cloud with SAP ERP solutions. So that gives a lot of benefits to the customer, and I'll show you that a little bit later in a B2B example. And we always need to make sure that the integration to other partners like software partners is easy for you as a customer with connected, secure connectors that we test against our latest releases. And bringing together ERP and commerce data is really critical to actually bring in AI to deliver a unified or exceptional commerce experience. Because what you can do with AI as of today is increase the conversions with using specific agents to connect the shoppers with the products that they want and that are in stock right now. And you always ensure at any time during the e-commerce experience of your customers that the right products are available. It comes out of the box. You always know, where's my stock, in which warehouse, in which point of sale. So you become more efficient and effective as an organization because you can automate tasks also through AI and giving teams to be creative, through merchandiser, supporting tools that I will show you in a video a little bit later. And the next thing is that you can drive loyalty by having a better commerce experience, and therefore meet your customer expectation. So there's one element missing, and I just want to give a quick teaser. So we're currently building for a Q4 availability of our own loyalty management capabilities that will, give you the opportunity to set up individual loyalty or reward or bonus programs, next to commerce, and also spin off easy dedicated web shops for a certain set of catalogs or user group of your bonus programs. And the return on investment, it's all validated by research. So you can have a look at this later on what the benefit really is for Commerce Cloud together natively connected to SAP ERP. And with that said, I just want to give you an example of what this means in reality, this time more in a B2B example.
What do you get when you combine wheels with wings? The exhilarating experience of flight. Similarly, when you combine SAP Commerce Cloud with SAP ERP, your business takes off to soaring heights. Let's see it from the customer's perspective. Mike here manages a chain of bike shops and is navigating his BI dashboard to check inventory and assortment when an email notification pops up, informing him of a new line at Best Run Bikes. He is always on the lookout for new offerings, so Mike clicks the link. Now, Mike enjoys a wild ride, but not when he's navigating high-value purchases. And luckily for Best Run Bikes, they use SAP Commerce Cloud and SAP ERP, so purchasing is simple and transparent. Real-time stock levels are visible, so Mike knows what he could order today and when more bikes will be available. He enters the number he needs, knowing the second half will come 4 weeks later. Ideal timing for replenishing his inventory. He also wants to add some accessories and use the quick order option, where he can simply enter quantities and SKU numbers online, add them straight to a cart, and save it for later completion. Mike checks the budget available in his account. He can't afford the number he wants unless a discount is offered. He adds the bikes to a cart and, being a long-standing customer, is able to request a quote asking for an additional discount. In the meantime, Mike restores his saved cart and completes the order. Upon checkout, he can flexibly choose delivery options with accurate delivery times being displayed. Best Run provides a self-service method for returns, just one reason they are Mike's go-to supplier. There is clear guidance and visibility, making the process highly efficient with zero friction. Of course, Mike hopes returns won't be necessary, but knowing the process will be straightforward and refunds will be provided immediately allows him to purchase with zero hesitation. Having reached the finish line with ease, Mike is geared up for delivery and starts to receive delivery status updates automatically. He can also view all the order details, including shipment status and tracking options directly from the order history and his account. Stay ahead in a fast-changing market and deliver adaptive, connected, insightful, and industry-tailored solutions with SAP Commerce Cloud and SAP ERP. For more information, visit the link below.
So as shown in the video, with SAP Commerce Cloud, you are able to increase the profitability of your organization, of your business, by having connected B2B commerce journeys. So no matter if that's a personalized, catalog offering, whether that's a research of an end consumer, you can provide them with the service that he expects because you have full visibility of, your order status and your stock at any time. So this means that, from the discovery of an end consumer to the installation or, the product delivery, you have all the components within the CX and SAP portfolio that you need to drive a seamless B2B journey for your business. So no matter if you are just, coming from campaigns to an engagement, through SAP Marketing Cloud / Emarsys, or then you are coming to request a quote through the Sales Cloud, everything is in sync with S4 in the background. So in real time, it will be updated in your ERP as well as in your front-end applications. So this should just show you, how the integration points into other solutions can influence a seamless customer experience. And the same is also happening for connected B2B commerce journeys, right? It's a similar flow, but there are other systems that we touch, especially around the whole campaign, the discovery phase, or like recommendation and search is coming out of the commerce capabilities itself. And with that said, I just want to quickly touch on the fact and how you can expose or extend the platform itself. So it should be very easy because we are always delivering a best-of-breed commerce solution with all the capabilities needed to drive these customer journeys. But we also have focused the last 2.5 years on our composability strategy. So for composability, you should be able to compose or to expand your commerce solution, not only with SAP-owned solutions, which is shown here on that slide. So the pre-built integration into other SAP or SAP CX solutions should help you to drive a better TCO and a faster time to market, but it also helps you to drive better commerce experiences in your business. And our approach to composability is relatively easy. So we provide all commerce capabilities as part of our subscription. It all sits on a dedicated Commerce Cloud platform, which is your portal to manage your deployments and your builds and your releases. And then you can just decouple everything, whether through our own composable storefront, which are a templated approach to headless commerce, serving multiple channels. And but you can also do that with alternative, more modern storefront solutions like Allokai. So, and as we are providing everything out of the box, there's no need for composability from the get-go. But once you reach a certain maturity level or a stage in your journey, in your business case, that you say, okay, our search capabilities or the search capabilities from SAP is not good enough, then you can expand or exchange that, through partner solutions like Coveo, or in the space of CMS with Contentful, or marketplaces with Miracle. And our strategy moving forward is to provide from these Commerce Core services more and more single SaaS services that are attached to the Commerce Cloud, right? So you can then also exchange certain modules and capabilities with capabilities coming from the SAP CX team, like order management or sourcing and auditing. And we just released, a new search capability, an open payment framework to connect with multiple ESPs, and we're working on a new pricing and promotion engine. So no matter which direction you go, you can complement your solution through a very pragmatic composable approach, whether with SAP-owned solution or with partner solutions. And that should, give you all the abilities that you need to scale your e-commerce business. But then you also might have, sorry, I'm just having a sip of water. So, but then you're also in a situation in reality where you will want to build your own, small microservices next to commerce. And you can do that. You can extend that commerce platform through the SAP Business Technology Platform, which is our default for extensibility. So you can then, compose the apps and automate the processes in real time, as it is a very modern, intuitive web user interface, and the integration points are already predefined through certain processes, which is shown here. So, as I said, you can build your custom extensions, and that's automatically then integrated into your Commerce Cloud solution. And what we also do is we have released in the last year a new notification framework to send any third-party sorry, interactions through so-called webhooks. And we support over, now in the meantime, it's over 170 business events, so to say, for the SAP Commerce Cloud. Yeah, that means in the real world, okay, if a customer in a certain cluster or segmentation is buying more than 3 products, you can say, please send them an invite for my premium program or whatever, for some special discounts or whatever. So you can just build your own notification and flow for your user interactions through that. And we are supporting, as I said, most of the relevant events in B2C and B2B scenarios already. And then the other topic, which is top of mind for most of the decision makers, is AI. So we already have almost 100 customers live. We launched that 3 quarters ago. So we have the so-called CXAI toolkit, which comes at additional cost, but it provides you all the AI-driven commerce capabilities that you need to actually optimize your efficiency within your organization for the commerce organization. So let me show you what you can do as of today.
Struggling to keep up with e-commerce demands? How much easier could managing your online business be with Business AI? Give your team the tools to enrich your product catalog and enhance product discovery like never before with the SAP CX AI Toolkit. Increase productivity, creativity, and control, taking your merchandising and catalog to new heights. Managing a product catalog can be overwhelming, but with the CX AI Toolkit, you're not just managing a catalog, you're mastering it. Starting with your product attributes, rather than creating your own, have them automatically generated for you based on an existing product description or photo. Edit the suggestions, delete what you don't want, then approve what you do. Any change or approval you can make is automatically applied, keeping you in perfect sync. And if it makes sense to update your catalog in bulk, you can do that too. Choose all of your products, or just a few, and approve the recommended attributes. This saves you time and ensures your customers can find the products they need quickly. But it isn't only attributes. With the toolkit, managing product descriptions is easier than ever before. Quickly find the category you want to work on. Pick the attributes you want to include, a tone, and a length. Add any specific instructions and generate your new description. Then with a click, you can publish the update to SAP Commerce Cloud and immediately see the new description reflected. Whether it's one product or hundreds, updating descriptions is now a breeze. Choose all your products or just a few, generate a new description, and publish it. Giving your catalog a boost and making every day more productive, creative, more in your control. Empower shoppers with new discovery options. Imagine a world where searching for products is as easy as uploading a picture. It's a reality with the CX AI Toolkit's visual search. As a product manager or e-commerce admin, you can test what products will appear from your catalog. Find products or items more quickly and intuitively compared to traditional text-based searches with visual search. Upload an image of, say, a camera, and watch as similar products are automatically matched and discovered. It's not just about finding a product, it's about discovering a range of options tailored to your preferences. Smart object detection identifies individual items in an image. With the image of a model, you can detect different options, and it recommends similar items from your catalog. For your customers, it's seamlessly integrated into your online storefront. Customers use their own photos to find what they're looking for, enhancing their shopping experience. Imagine a customer uploading a photo of sunglasses. Instantly, they're presented with an array of matching options from your store, ready to add to their cart. This is more than a search tool. It's a complete transformation of the shopping experience, blending AI technology with intuitive design. Increase efficiency with AI tools built for digital teams. Creating engaging content for e-commerce can be a daunting task. But what if there was an easier way? Let's dive into the AI tools section. Among its versatile features, you have solutions for generating banners, social media posts, and most notably, blog posts. Select a product category, let's say cameras, and choose the camera you want to post about. Let's say you're targeting middle school children's events. With just a few clicks, you tailor the content to be kid-friendly and engaging, ensuring relevance and appeal. Next, you infuse your blog post with a happy tone and a medium style. Behind the scenes, the toolkit works its magic, considering all inputs to deliver a compelling blog post recommendation. Now, you can easily copy and post this content to any blog site, enhancing your digital marketing strategy effortlessly. Enrich your product catalog with AI. Enhance product discovery. Create unique customer experiences. Drive profitable growth through your online business with Business AI for intelligent CX.
So these are mainly, the basics that we have released when we started the CX AI toolkit. In the meantime, we also have released so-called shopping agents, which is a chat-based, shopping agent and assistant to actually help customers find the right products or giving them recommendation on the fly in real time. So you will find that, on our website, or, I can put some more slides into the deck that will be shared with you. And the next that we are gonna introduce in Q2, end of month of May, is a so-called Commerce Cloud version for starting B2B, and we call it the Customer B2B Portal. So we found out that a lot of customers, especially in the B2B space, are challenged with the fact that they just want to have a central place where they can actually track their order, manage their order in a kind of a friendly front-end type of approach. So the route for market have been always challenging for B2B companies. And Gartner predicts that, by this year, only 20% of the companies have digitalized their processes. So when you think about, the separate systems, they create inefficiencies across the organization for B2B customers, whether that's when you're working with wholesale, with distribution, with warehouses, you have all the different tools in different places. But what you just want is one single destination where you can actually, get a quote, where you see all your orders, where you can manage your quotes, where you see the shipment status. It all needs to be transactional through the e-commerce platform, but it's like a Commerce Lite version to actually harmonize, all the different systems that are, important, whether you want to send a specific order to one of your business partners in a B2B space. We realized that most of the orders are still made through phone calls and spreadsheets and so on. So for us, this was the reason why we started to build that, to actually have the order status, the general information of a product catalog, the customer service, and many touch points, integrated in one single destination, so that all the buyers have everything they need, on a so-called B2B commerce portal. And that's actually something that we will launch and make available for customers at the end of May. And we already have, some customers trying that out for us, like Nestle. So the self-service portal for them has significantly improved employer productivity, because you see, the actual status of your warehouses, is this product available? You can just create a quote online, send it to your business partners, and you see every status right of an order through that B2B commerce self-service portal. So that's a little bit complex to present, but the lead to cash journey is actually the use case that we're covering for our customers, right? And once a customer has, consolidated all the different systems in that self-service portal to start e-commerce afterwards, by just adding, the transactional capabilities of Commerce Cloud is super easy. And with that said, I hope that was a good overview for you. If not, you will find me on LinkedIn. You can send me a question or your questions at any time. And with that said, I want to hand it over to a colleague of mine I've been working with, the last 5 years on actually helping customers to transform, through our Cloud Acceleration team and Cloud Acceleration program. So Christian, I hand it over to you. And I'll stop sharing.
Thank you so much, Markus. So I started to share my screen. So Markus, great introduction. I think we now got a good understanding of what Commerce Cloud is and where it's going to go and what all these wonderful, great capabilities we have in our cloud offering and only in our cloud offering. So therefore, it's a pleasure to introduce myself to you. As Markus has explained, I'm in the commerce move space for many years now, and I've personally accompanied hundreds of customers in different capacities and roles to move from legacy solutions towards our latest CX cloud offerings, inclusive focusing on Commerce Cloud predominantly. So I have a technical background originally, therefore I'm passionate also to advising our customers to land and also to transform, or let's say transition and transform in a very personalized way. Every customer is different, and therefore it's about finding the way to move to cloud, which just makes sense for you, right? So I'm going to talk about challenges which you potentially, or we assume you are potentially facing on premise with our current solution. Then I'm going to overlay into why our cloud offering is addressing them, and finally also how to move to SAP Commerce Cloud in a nutshell. I have around about 8 slides. So here we go. So I mentioned challenges on premise. I mean, nowadays, of course, if you run and operate an e-commerce solution, a front office solution which allows to run e-commerce transactions connected to the ERP installation as such, you are most likely exposed to many of, let's say, surrounding challenges like, change management. You need to have change management in place in order to be able to adapt in a fast pace to the evolving technology developments like AI and so on. You need to be ready for potential supply chain disruptions, right? If you look at the political situation at the moment, right? So ideally, you have a solution which can flexibly adapt and updates itself on a certain pace. Sustainability goals remain as well. They stick around, and still you have to fulfill them. And if you zoom out a little bit, of course, the increase of cost of money also remains relevant. So we have to be mindful where we put our efforts in. And last but not least, I think it's also quite obvious. It's not so easy to get and hire, let's say, DevOps teams to operate and run on-premise solutions on the fly at the same quality you would potentially expect it from a business critical system, right? So therefore, the question is, how do you overcome these challenges, and how do you become an intelligent and sustainable enterprise, of course? And of course, more interesting in this case is how to get there and how will your personalized journey look like. So now to underline what I've just shared with a few facts, and I'm not going too much in detail, but I mean, in the key message I wanted to position here, it's not about tech only. Tech is a key enabler, yes, but it's not the only one. So it's also about operational structures, it's about company culture and so on. And the famous analysts and firms, McKinsey, for example, and Boston Consulting Group, they put it into 3 pillars, which I really much like. So in these 3 key competencies, you see them into the bottom in these 3 green pillars. So the first one is your ability to achieve a constant state of continuous digital transformation, right? To be able to somehow, building a muscle memory, right? To adapt to change, and also not play to be a software company, but also, put your efforts at the right place where it makes sense the most. Infuse your solution with intelligence on, and don't with having that said, also democratize innovation in your workforce, right? So that certain decisions can be taken where the decision needs to be taken and so on, right? second pillar also about operating model as such. So most customers I talk to, they have an interest to free up certain IT resources, right? And they want to focus the people they have on adopting innovation and get rid of, let's say, maintenance efforts and tactical execution, let's say, programs to apply and go into a shared responsibility model with a cloud provider like SAP. And the third term, not to underestimate, right, the enterprise readiness and also the business resilience aspect. The bigger you get, the more volume you put through your solution, the more relevant it becomes to stay compliant, to apply secure, and also be responsive. And therefore, it's key to adopt certain standards and also delivering a standardized solution as the market would expect you to do so, right? You can see a few KPIs on the top. I'm not going into that in detail, but feel free also to reach out if you want to follow up that discussion or put some questions in the Q&A form. So now to overlay, let's say, that into the real life of a commerce on-premise customer, right? So we know that our customers, they don't like to manage their code bases on-premise and to update integrations all the time to the latest releases and so on. So therefore, today it's about trying to get rid of being tied to legacy applications, which is on the long run not sustainable. So therefore, SAP Commerce Cloud as such exactly is removing you from this burden to some extent by bringing standardized change rapidly and continuously to you, right? This year is kind of a key year for SAP Commerce Cloud. So from a technology point of view, a lot of topics become suddenly super relevant for our install base. Just as a few examples, SAP Commerce on-premise runs on a Java stack. So therefore, customers on-premise also need to go through a Java update. So all your application classes you have running, your customizations and so on related to Java, but as well to Spring, need to go through quite fundamental updates. So there's some efforts which you have to be taken if you remain on-premise. Also, SAP itself has a very straightforward, let's say, deprecation strategy to remove old, let's say, de-releasing of old technology and technology components, and then replace them with the cloud version of it, right? So on-premise as such, while it's still in active mainstream maintenance, has announced SAP has announced an official end of the mainstream maintenance. So this is to be scheduled for July 31st, 2026. So of course, that's also a huge value driver. If you decide to remain on premise post that date, you would potentially have to, you have to take on your own the development and shipping and implementing of security patches, the continuous updates and maintenance which we provide will stop, and you also have to do certain things like vulnerability scanning and so on your own, right? So it's kind of a key decision, let's say a milestone, which we believe would be a huge driver also to look into what we are offering on the Commerce Cloud version of the product. So by transitioning to SAP Commerce Cloud, SAP will do the majority of this work for you. So we will deliver the latest version of the product on the latest Java version as part of our continuous updates. And we are also providing, let's say, functional equivalent components on the latest stack. And it's also shipped as part of the latest commerce version in the cloud. So, besides all the challenges and the mainstream maintenance schedule and so on, and the efforts you need to do to stay compliant and secure on premise, we believe, and as you also were able to listen to Markus, there are much more advantages to move to SAP Commerce Cloud, especially when we look into the innovation side of things. Just to give you an example, while we have not delivered any feature on premise since 22, on premise, only delivered updates, let's say patches. In the Commerce Cloud, we have only last year delivered up to 150 plus new features, whether that would be AI-based image creation and other, visual search and shopping assistant. Markus explained it before, but as well, we are looking into operational improvements like canary deployments or order management services. So there is a It's a huge list of innovation and capabilities which you can adopt in the cloud only, and therefore we invite you to have a look and see where you potentially fit your enterprise fitting these specific use cases. In case you adopt our cloud version, we believe you get a solid and future-proof foundation to do so, right? Now, why are other customers moving to cloud? I think this is also one of the discussion, let's say, points. So if you decide to get into a discussion to move to SAP Commerce Cloud, we see these 6 key pillars relevant. I briefly touched some of them. Number 8, transformative commerce experiences, right? So Markus has explained the new architecture, which is cloud native for side-by-side extensibility. You can go into a clear core strategy, go headless, and start to decompose your application, right? So great for the future readiness of your application. The second pillar is the continuous innovation at your fingertips. I mentioned it. We are going to continuously deliver patches and update security capabilities and so on. You will continuously have an active supported version, and you will be able to leverage new features and capabilities on a monthly or bi-monthly basis. Yeah. Third pillar, focus on business growth, not legacy. So a huge part of the Commerce Cloud offering is also about let's say, operational excellence. We are pretty proud that we have now with more than 1,000 live customers, right? We have the kind of experience to deliver operational excellence, to have tailored processes and DevOps and support process to make sure that your system is running, right? This gives me the overlay to stability and scalability. Just to give you an idea, scalability is a big topic for SAP Commerce Cloud, and just to give you a key metric, our customers running on our cloud achieve 59.35% year-over-year growth, right, in GMV on Black Friday over the last year, just as an example, while having 100% reliability, performance, uptime, right? So I think that's a great achievement, and it proves a good proof point how mature the solution today is and how it delivers the promise. Last but not least, we have operational efficiency. I briefly touched it when I talked about challenges, but we are leveraging hyperscalers. Therefore, we have access to the latest technologies. We take care of all the operational, let's say, OS level updates and patches, and we also make sure of certain certifications and compliance regulations as soon as it touches the infrastructure layer. And on top of it, the last pillar would be to round it up with a seamless AI integration with the latest SAP AI strategy on top of the business suite idea. Right. Now, how would that work? So if you would like to move to SAP Commerce Cloud, 3 options. Option A is you can ask SAP to deliver it. Option B would be to have a collaborative approach in SAP to, let's say, guide and safeguard you in order to do so. And option 3 we see is that you do it on your own and you do it partner-led. Rest assured, most of the, let's say, all of the processes are nowadays self-service, so there is no SAP component mandatory to be involved. Of course, we recommend to involve SAP to some extent because we have now 300 plus successful deliveries on our plate. We have some certain tool set and automation in place, and that should make the journey a safe and convenient journey, and more important, efficient and risk mitigate or low risk, right? How would the next step look like? We tend to group the assessment of, let's say, scoping of the migrations from legacy solutions on-premise to cloud into having a proper introduction, basically looking to more planning, let's say, what are we going to do? What is the specific situation look like for you? Then we have a standardized analysis and discovery session where we kind of assess the as-is solution and the to-be, followed by an evaluation of the detailed scoping, where you have to go through what needs to be changed, what not, what can we retain, what do we need to drop as part of the maintenance schedule, followed by an execution of, let's say, moving or transitioning your current application investments into the cloud solution, and then followed by a cutover, which takes a substantial part of the time to properly switch the systems to talk to the right, let's say, endpoints and so on at the right time and with a minimal downtime, of course, right? So, Yeah, therefore, the only one topic which I would like to position before I close up would be that the average migration duration we see in our install base is 4.5 months. So, of course, it depends on the complexity. If you are a customer which is up to date and doesn't have a lot of legacy components, of course, you are on the lower end of the scale. And in case we are looking for larger transformations and so on, of course, then we have to look into what makes sense where and where do we want to put the effort in so that you can take the most value out of such a transition slash transformation project ultimately. Yeah. Okay, so that would close up my part. Let me stop my screen share.
Thank you, Christian. Thank you, Markus. Very interesting indeed. Do we have any question from the audience? As of now, I don't see anything written in the Q&A section. So if anyone has any questions, now would be the moment to to type them in. In the meantime, let me tell you that next week we gonna talk about the CRM migration. So how can we will intensify this discussion that we had now, show you how SAP supports you with which tools and programs to seamlessly move to SAP CX, where we have our colleague Thorsten Sang and Zaha Mira Pedini-Bol joining. Okay, we have here the first question. Are there any ready-made online how-to guidance for implementation and for support of SAP Commerce?
Yeah, so first of all, there are a lot of templates, right, and best practices that we can share based on the SAP-led migration. So, but online, publicly available, there is clearly not. So you have to engage with us. But, once you reach out to Christian or myself, we're happy to share, best practices. And yeah, we don't call it how-to guide, but we have a set of collection of best practices. Christian, you can add more context.
Yeah, exactly. So I can also encourage you to have a look at the sub-communities. Our migration and delivery teams also tend to continuously provide in form of blogs and community entries, certain knowledge base like articles, where they talk about experience they did, for example, with automating data sets from a third-party database vendor into SAP Commerce Cloud as such, how it's done in a self-service way and so on. So there we have quite a lot of community-based articles and information. You will also find on the SAP help pages all what it's about, how to use, install, and enable, and onboard on the SAP Commerce Cloud product as such. And also, not to forget, I think we can also share the link ahead, would be the FAQs, right? Frequently asked questions on the end of mainstream maintenance and let's say supported timelines, right? For you to consider as a customer in case you have certain affected modules which are no longer available in the cloud version. Yeah.
So we will put the links in the chat, right? Any other questions? Good. So, Krenar, do we share the slide deck or, how we make that available to the attendees?
Yeah. So the slide deck and the recording will be put online by end of this week.
Okay.
As
So
usual, when you get the notification for the next session.
More information, right, around, best practices and the links again, besides the chat. So we'll add more, right? We will add to the deck also the links.
Perfect.
Any other
we will share that.
Okay, so I see another question here. So that has been already done, right? So what about in case we have to do certification for Business Suite? Is there a topic about what is that?
I think that that's an internal one.
That's an internal
one. I think that we can skip here.
I can skip that. Okay, good. Then we don't have any other open questions. So another question into the attendees, group of attendees. Is there anything else that we should add to the deck or that you want to learn about, especially around Commerce Cloud, of course?
If not, I mean, they have your address and they can reach out to you, Markus, and to you,
Good.
Christian.
Perfect.
Okay, then big thanks to you, Markus, and to you, Christian, for the session today. Big thanks for the audience for joining. Wish you a wonderful day, wonderful rest of the week, wonderful Easter, and see you hopefully all soon on next week, Tuesday.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
For your time.
Bye-bye.